Hello, everybody, and welcome back. It is our triumphant return. We stumbled across the None of the Above podcast, home of the ill-informed and the misaligned. This being our winter storm watch forewarn tracker impact episode. We all got snowed in today. I don't know how many inches you all got, but we got plenty. We got 8 to 10, I reckon. I haven't measured it, but I'm Corey Allen, your intrepid host for these proceedings. Got our usual cast of characters here from up the Great White North. Everybody's favorite North Country wildflower, Miss Anna Rose.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello and welcome, and hello with her, as always, Off-Cam Dan, the big
hello.
man behind the scenes. Glad to have you here, and with me, as always, my gal Friday.
Hello.
Slightly off kiltered and completely out of frame.
Yes.
Miss Bernay. Can't hear you because you're not talking in your microphone, but
Hello, I said.
that's typical. It's good to be here. It's good to have us all in the same, not really in the same room, but you know what I mean.
Together.
It's good to have us all together again,
Yes.
the old gang.
Yes.
Yep, snow in 2026. Here we go.
Yeah,
Ooh,
man.
this year's starting off great.
Snow day.
Yeah, we were all part of that storm that hit most of the country.
Yeah, it was a pretty big deal.
I think I heard 34 states were affected by that storm.
Yeah, and it's still going now. It's just up on the East Coast right now.
And I'm glad that none of us got the ice.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
would
Yeah,
have
we're
been really
definitely
worse.
far north. We got all snow.
Yeah,
Yes.
we
No.
did too.
Yes.
We did too, luckily.
And we got less than you guys. And that's in first, too.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Well, because it came from the South. This came from the Southwest rather than from the Northwest. Usually it comes from up Canada, and this time of year blasts us with Arctic air, and we did have that, but then there was this other energy with the moisture from the South that met it and kind of created a.
How much snow you think we got, Anna?
6, 7.
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh, dang it.
Yeah, that was good, guys.
How much do you guys think you got?
I don't
About
know.
10.
I'd say 8 to 10.
At least.
They were calling for 10 to 13, and then they changed it to 9 to 13. And I thought that was odd. Like, why would you change the lower number?
So that you would know that you're expecting more, maybe? I don't know.
Well, 10 to 13.
It's all predictions. It's all
But
guess.
that means that they're willing to bet on like a 4-degree margin of error. You know what I mean? Like 9. If they had changed it to 9 to 12, I could see what they went from 10 to 13, then they changed it to 9 to 13. That's like saying from 1 to 13. It's going to snow. It might be 13. It might be any number leading up to 13. That's a pretty wide.
I honestly thought we weren't going to get it. Like, I thought we weren't going to get hit. And then it started to move a little bit more north. And when it went north, I was like, all right, maybe I should go to the grocery store.
Thursday morning, I was still seeing reports that it was going to stay far south of us. We weren't going to get anything. Zero.
Yeah.
We were going to get nothing.
Yeah.
It was going to completely miss us.
Yeah.
And by 11 o'clock, everybody was tripping balls because they said, oh, we're wrong. We're going to get a foot. We're going to get up to a foot now. Went from 0, none, it's going to completely miss us.
Nothing at the grocery store.
And it was like the pandemic days, man.
Mhm.
There were days at the pandemic, they were just like the warehouse said, well, we're not going to send any trucks because we don't have anything to send you. We're empty. Our shelves were empty. That's the way it was. It's Thursday. I was like, dudes, come on, man.
Well, I
I had
went
to
to
go, like-
regular grocery shopping like I needed to on Thursday, and there was nothing, no milk, no bread, no veggies, no fruits, hardly anything. And I got what I could. And then Friday morning, I got up and put the kids on the bus. And then I went back just to see if they restocked anything. And they did, but they didn't have much. And there was a parking lot full of people. So what there wasn't going to stick long, It
Yeah.
was crazy.
I don't understand. I never have the people's, let's say, all right, so the weather guy is saying, all right, look, it's going to be this bad storm. You might lose power for weeks. Some of the guys were saying if the power goes out on this widespread Because some places we're going to get an inch of ice. Man, that's
Yeah.
heavy.
Yeah.
A lot. That's a heavy ice, man.
I've seen a lot of the videos from down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Texas, Tennessee, and there were thunderstorms and stuff.
Yeah.
Did they get all that? Did they lose power?
Well, I imagine there were local. They were predicting large scale power outages that would like take weeks to get resolved. So you were going to be with a couple of days for sure, but plan for a couple of weeks. Anyway, my point is the power is going to be out, but you've just went and bought every bit of hamburger we've got, all the eggs that we have. You don't have any way of cooking any of the shit why aren't you buying like cans of Spam and potted meat and fucking Vienna sausages and beans,
And ways
stuff
to
that you
cook
can
them.
eat cold out of a can because you ain't gonna have no fucking power
Right.
to cook nothing.
Yeah.
Like, what this is your survival is to go and buy lobster and steak? That's what you're gonna survive with during the snowstorm?
I know. People are crazy.
Yeah, so we got a new year. We've been
2026,
we've been kind of lax in our productivity as of late with our little episodes. But I hope to rectify that and we get back on track and we'll start pumping a few more out of you. I've got some great feedback from some of the people that listen to us, and that's inspiring. I like to hear that. I like to
It's appreciative.
it makes it worthwhile to do all the stuff if people enjoy it too, other people. We've had kind of a shake up in my vision for this kind of a deal when we first started out was like, we're going to talk about Bigfoot, Mothman and all kinds of conspiracy shit and 9/11 and all, and we do some of that stuff, but it seems like our last few episodes have been kind of more broader social kind of things, not political necessarily, but broader societal issues, things that affect a large scale. We did one on medical marijuana. We did one on, I don't know, what was the other one that we did? The holidays. That's a broad stroke.
Yeah.
Halloween, most people celebrate Halloween. Well, we chose a pretty broad topic, I guess, for the topic portion of the festivities.
Yeah.
Euthanasia.
Yeah.
Dr. Jack Kevorkian. Maybe and maybe on the tail end of that, some what happens after we die. The other things are about how to die and what goes after. Do Christians, non-Christian people believe there's heaven? Do they think your soul? Do they think you have a soul? Anyway, I thought that was a pretty good thing to talk about. What do you reckon?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
and Dr. John Kevorkian, he created what they called the death machine
Mm-hmm.
and basically enabled people for euthanasia so that they could do it themselves. And that's how it was. Like, they did it themselves. He didn't do it to them until he did. He did eventually.
Well, I'm not sure that he did. He did build a machine. A couple of different versions of it, actually, and they had a couple of different names. So there were different eras of the same thing. But he made sure that it was self-induced. He set it up for them and put it in their hand, but they did it. They pressed the button.
Right. But then there was a guy that he did eventually that he did it. And he also was by himself, this one, because he also always had an assistant. And I think this is the one that he ended up going to prison for. Because
he publicly aired a videotape showing him administering a lethal injection to a man with ALS.
Yes, because the ALS guy couldn't do it himself.
A step that went beyond patient-assisted death. That's what he went to prison for in 1999.
Yeah.
Served 8 years, a 10 to 25-year sentence, and was released on parole in 2007 under the condition that he not assist in any further suicides.
But before that, he just created the machine that people did it themselves. He told
Yeah.
them what to do, and they did it.
Mhm.
First called the Thanatron and later the Mercitron, which allowed patients to administer lethal drugs themselves.
Mhm.
And he
By
argued that these
IV, like,
devices,
how does- oh, okay.
he argued that these devices preserved patient autonomy and dignity, particularly for those suffering from severe pain or degenerative diseases. He maintained meticulous records, and he claimed to be motivated by compassion rather than notoriety, which I believe. I don't think he was doing it to be famous
Right.
or to make
Right.
money.
Right.
I would
You
agree
know,
with that.
his motives
He's
doesn't
doing it for the betterment of the person.
right.
Yes.
His motives doesn't really defend his situation much. It he still people are like aghast at the idea, the concept that he would help. I think maybe the people that were against
I think just the
what he did.
idea of doing it is what gasps people. And then there's somebody that helps them. Then they're like, what?
Yeah.
Like, that is even like a double gasp. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, suicide is a topic of its own.
mm-hmm.
It should be explored. But I think when you use the general term of suicide, that lumps in a bunch of other, that euthanasia is, I'm suffering so bad physically from this disease that's going to kill me anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Let me do it with some dignity and peacefully and with less pain and that kind of stuff.
But those are
People get-
physical ailments.
Right. But so the mental anguish that people that commit suicide
Right,
because they're
that's
depressed, that's the same thing. They're suffering too.
Yeah, they are suffering.
So you have to, if it's okay when you've got cancer that's going to kill
Yeah,
you,
like, where's the line?
Yeah.
Where's the line?
Yeah.
When is it okay?
And who decides the line?
Right. Sure. I think
I think each person should get to decide their own line.
I
You know,
agree.
you're right. I mean, everybody is born, everybody dies, and I think everybody should get the right to their own body.
But then you put age restrictions because there's young people who go through phases where, they might be really down wanting to end their life. And then 5 years later, they think of life totally differently because they've matured.
And that would happen.
So how do you stop that?
Mm.
I mean, is there,
I don't know.
Well, I think with anything, there has to be that it's, you're really your kid's fucking brains until they're old enough to do it on their own. So the government looks at it as like 18. Your kid is 18 or less than 18. He's your responsibility. He's not an adult yet.
Still make decisions.
Right. You still make them for him or them. This would be similar to that, I think.
Yeah.
If you look at the trans, these kids that are
That would be
6,
like,
7
yeah,
years
that would
old,
probably
they
apply.
have to get their parents to set it up for them to do the hormone therapy and all the stuff to become the other gender.
Yeah, let's not
You
start.
know what I mean? I'm just saying it's a similar thing though, that the parents make the decision
Right.
to do it or not.
Yeah,
Or-
but at what line do you get to? Like, I mean, say you're not diagnosed with ALS or something that's going to debilitate you, and then you're going to lose your battle, like, or something like that. What if it is mental? Is that not what if you're 45 years old and you've been depressed for 20 years and, there's like, you've lost everyone that you know and you're just sitting in a home, like, at what point, like, where do you draw the line? Who gets to decide?
Well, and once again, I my personal beliefs is that your destiny is in your hands. You are responsible for. If it's up to me whether or not to go to the doctor or not, or whether it's up to me to do drugs or not, if it's up to me to rape women or not, I mean, those are all that's up to me to do those things. Why wouldn't my own demise? If I could control it, why wouldn't I be allowed to?
Right.
It's up if my doctor tells me I have cancer and here's the treatment and it's probably going to kill you anyway, but this will make you live an extra 6 months. It's up to me to decide whether or not to do that treatment and push it another 6 months or to shorten it by 6 months by not doing the treatment. Is that correct?
Right.
It's up to me.
Yep.
Right.
So why wouldn't I go, okay, well, let's shorten it another 6 months and you help me just go to sleep one night and not wake up anymore.
Right.
I agree.
And that's totally
And
not
save
okay.
my family from all of watching me struggle, wishing they could do something, unable to do anything.
And that's the biggest thing about it is that, like, I watched a couple documentaries about Dr. John Kevorkian and like what he did in his life and stuff like that. And that was his biggest argument, is that you should be able to, like, okay, I'm not going to do that. And you should be able to say, I'm not going to do that. And you shouldn't have to,
I shouldn't
because
be
you're just going to
forced
what,
to
lie
suffer.
in a bed and be starved to death or
Right.
dehydrated until, and then they're just going to take off all your drugs and then put you on morphine if you're lucky.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then you just feel nothing and lay there until all of your organs have finally shut down.
Yeah,
And
fail.
then you finally, and it takes
Yeah.
months for that to happen.
Right.
That
Sometimes years.
months, sometimes years. And I don't think that if you decide not that you don't want to do that, I think that that's perfectly fine and that's your right.
I agree.
I don't think that's us for other people to say you can't do that.
It's
But-
definitely not the government's place to say
Right.
that I can't do it,
Right.
or the lawmakers. You know, it's you attempt suicide, they take you to jail.
But so many Christians think that that's all an automatic ticket to hell.
Yeah.
Well, not real Christians, because the
Well,
Bible says
Catholics do.
the only sin not forgivable is
Yeah.
disbelief.
What's
The
that?
only sin is that you can't be forgiven for is not believing. If you believe, you'll go to heaven. Period.
I'm just saying some religions think that.
Well, a lot of Christians, I'm sure, believe that, but
Yeah.
you know, Catholics for sure believe that, but they also believe in purgatory and stuff like that. Christians don't believe in purgatory, like Baptists and stuff.
What do you think about it, Dan?
About purgatory?
No. About Dr. John Kevorkian.
Yeah, euthanasia.
Yeah, I think in the right circumstances, I don't think it should be free to anybody just because it's your choice. I don't think that would be good for our society. But I think in certain instances, I think it's good.
Who gets to make those?
I don't know. I don't know how that would be decided, but
Well, I think once again, if you're able to vote and go to war and drink booze and all that stuff, drive a car, you're an adult. You get to make it.
Yeah, but what if you can't though?
Right.
Either have your spouse or your or a family member do it.
Yeah, but you'd have to, sign over, whatever the power of attorney or whatever they call that.
Okay. If I know that you're
People.
if I know if you can do it to me and that I cannot,
Well, then you get into situation, there's lots of husbands and wives that have murdered their spouses. You know what I mean?
I mean,
Like you
it's
get
not
into
murder though.
you get into that slippery slope there.
It's not murder
Yeah,
though.
but no, insurance money and
I'm
that
not
kind of
worried
stuff.
about the
No,
issue.
it
I'm
needs to
worried
be
about
on
your
my.
dignity. Now
I
you
think the only
are.
way you could do it is if it was me. No one can make the decision for me,
Right.
even my wife and my family.
But if you
There was the one Kevorkian case that was real famous that the family or the woman wanted to,
yeah.
and the family didn't want her to. So he did, and she died, and then they sued her husband because he helped her
Mm-hmm.
and stuff.
Yeah.
She was on life support or some shit for a long time or something, and they were fighting to keep her on there, and they wanted to take her off.
Yeah. She wanted to get off.
And she wanted
yeah.
to, right.
I don't
Yeah.
want to live forever on a fucking machine.
Well, I mean, me and
No.
my sister, my grandmother just passed away this week. And me and my sister went and said our final goodbyes. And when we were leaving, we both promised each other that we would not let each other live like that.
Right.
Like just put some sleeping pills in my mouth or something, like if I ever get to an incapacitated state, don't let me stay like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Just don't. That's
Yeah.
no way to live.
It ain't. Quality versus quantity is something that comes into play when you're talking about stuff like that.
Absolutely.
would you want to live another? That's when my mom. Those
Yeah.
of you that know me know my mom died a long time ago, 20-something years now. It's been forever ago. But she suffered from cancer and died because of it. But it only took a short time. It was only 18 months, a couple years, 2-3 years total. Some folks goes on for years and years and years and years, and they struggle. But anyway, my point is, she had to suffer for a long time. If she had her druthers, if she didn't factor in anybody else's feelings about it or whatever, what she wanted to do, she wouldn't have done anything. She'd already had like multiple, like 5-6 surgeries.
Yeah.
Been in the hospital a ton of times. She was an older person, so she'd been poked and prodded and, all the things. She was the kind of woman that didn't even like to take aspirin because, like the way it made her feel, And so they're giving her morphine and shit because she died of cancer and she was tripping balls. Anyway, it was horrible for her.
Yeah.
I think that she should have said, no, I'm not going to do any of that. I know we were like, but they said you could get one more Christmas, Mom. You want to, one more. No, she shouldn't have. She shouldn't have traded that for what she had to go through.
Dude, I mean,
cut parts of her body off.
Yeah.
Remove parts of her, just and never get better from that. Like she had like a little window after the surgery and her hair started to grow back from the chemo and all the shit that she took or whatever it was, radiation. I don't remember. I was kind of in a blur, but where she was okay, but then it still kept killing her. Like it didn't fix it. Like it didn't work, And then from then on, it was just misery. From then on, for months and months and months. Her insurance told them that she hadn't worked enough hours to have insurance anymore, so her insurance was stopping payment on all these expensive treatments and shit. Going to the doctor once a week. All of that could have been if it had been an option. She wouldn't have done it probably, but it would have been better for her to not do any of that.
Yeah, because she knew the inevitable.
Right. Well, they kept feeding her full of shit saying it was going to help, but it obviously did.
I don't know. My mom went through the same thing. She had cancer for years and years and years and ended up losing her battle. And that was 16 years ago. So it has been a long time as well. And she went through, I don't know, 7, 8 different rounds of chemo over 6 years, 7 years to try to different, eventually she just went into studies because she knew nothing was going to happen. So she just went into WashU and just let them study her. And she had stem cell transplant and mastectomies and ports and, drips and, all kinds, steroids and everything that you could think of, they probably pumped into her body.
Yeah. Yeah.
And had she had not had 2 little girls that she was trying to take care of, she wouldn't have done any of it. But she had 2 little girls, so she did it. Until she couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but in a different situation, if she'd have had, if she'd have had a partner, was able to be there to help take care of the kids, she might have went down a different path.
Yeah, maybe.
She might have been like, I don't want to do all this if I trust that you're going to be here to take care of the girls.
Where she's like, I can't do this again. She got to that point where she's like, I can't do this again. Mm-hmm. And it was like still spreading, so it was still going.
She had it all over the place. She had it in a bunch of different spots. Didn't she?
Yeah.
And traveled.
But like she once she made her mental decision, she went pretty quick. But grandma, she was years of watching her suffer. And that's the part that is like, I don't agree with. Like sometimes it's quick, sometimes it's slow. And I think the slow is what some people would choose euthanasia. I think a lot more people would choose it if it was socially acceptable.
Yep.
And not suffer so much.
Well, I wonder if the opponents of it, Kevorkian's detractors and against the whole concept, I wonder if they've ever watched one of their loved ones suffer for months.
That's what I'm saying. Like, have they watched it? Have you actually seen? Because I have watched it, and I don't ever want to be in that situation.
I wonder if our opinions would differ if we hadn't went through those things.
Do you think it's like a naive? It's naive? Like they haven't been through that. So
Yes.
maybe, I don't know.
Ignorance for sure. If they've never experienced it, I mean,
A sudden death, I will tell you, my dad is died from suicide and my mom died from a slow cancer. I have experienced a quick one and I have experienced slow and painful.
yeah.
And they're both awful, but the slow and
Right.
painful is awful. It's awful.
Yeah. Well, and it's ongoing. It's like at least the one that's quick was it, a horrible disruptive,
Like the pain from the quickness
but
of
it's
it.
all at once and here
lot.
we go. And you can immediately start to heal. The shock of that would last, but it would wear off over time. But this is like, it just keeps going. It's never ending. It doesn't ever get to the point where you can start to get over it and heal.
Yeah.
Until it finally does. But by that point, they've suffered for, 20 years or whatever it was. Not quite 20 years, but.
Well, I know my grandma has been praying to die for
Yeah.
years and years and years. It was like 3 birthdays ago. We were all together and she's like, okay, glad to see everyone. I'm good to die. I can die tomorrow. I'll be happy to die. Like she's praying to die at her birthday celebration.
Yeah, someone asked her, is there anything you wanted for your birthday? She's like, I just hope this is the last one.
Yeah, she just wanted it to be her last one.
Bless her heart.
So she was ready. She,
Yeah.
she lost everyone. She lost all her
Yeah.
brothers and sisters. She lost
Yeah.
all, everyone. She lost her baby, my mama, so she was ready.
Yeah.
So what, and like I was talking to my sister like a couple days before, and we're like, she goes, this is the part that I don't get. Like, why is the suffering? Like, what's the point of her still being here suffering?
Yeah.
Why hasn't God taken her home yet? Like, why, if she's praying to him to take him, why won't he take her?
Yeah. I don't know. That's what I said too. Why is he just letting her lay there in his hospital bed and be miserable?
Right.
She's
I
going to
don't know.
go anyway.
I know. I just don't understand. Like, that's what makes me question my faith. Stuff like that.
Well, it's certainly stuff to test it. But
Yeah.
that's the true test of faith is to,
I
So,
know.
so is it people think that that's playing God if you try to end your life or if you
No.
have someone
Yeah.
help you end your life? Is that what it is? They don't think you have the right because God
I
brought you
think
here?
there's a lot of people that are black and white Bible. Like if it says it in the Bible, that's how you should live your life. There's
Yeah.
no way they're going to vote
No,
for
I
anything
don't.
or be okay with
Well, I
anything that
think
goes against it.
God
Yeah.
put you here, and God's the only one that can take you away. Like you're
Yeah.
taking God's decision out of his hands when you commit suicide or something.
Yeah.
Or abortion's the same way. You can't,
Like
that's what they think. You can't.
Presumptuous. Like, how dare you? That's you don't have the right to do that.
You don't have the right to do that.
It could be.
Could be. I don't know.
But
it would be interesting if anybody has any points of view. Like, what is your point of view? Do you agree with it? Do you not? When do you? What is your line? I want to hear from some of the people that are listening.
Mhm.
Let us know.
Well, you know what else is the view is much different when it comes to, say, their prized puppy
Yeah.
or their kitten. If your cat was taken to the vet and they said, well, your cat's got leukemia, he's gonna wither away and be in agony for 6 months and he's gonna die. Or we could put him down. How many of those same fucking people would put the cat down and never give it another thought? Just keep it from suffering, shoot a lame horse to keep it from, you know what I mean?
Right.
Why is it different for animals?
Why is it okay for animals?
Why is it okay for animals, but not? Wouldn't you think
Right.
it'd be the other way around? Like, you're choosing to kill the animal. The animal didn't choose to kill itself. But grandma can't off herself to keep from, you know what I mean? Like, what the fucking kind of sense is that?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like it devalues the animal's life.
All of us have taken cats to the vet or animals and had them put down. Well, I don't know if you guys have, but I know that you've killed them to eat them and stuff.
We're the only animal on this planet that will put something out of its misery, like kill it because it's dying. come up on a cow that's been injured by a coyote or something. It's going to die there. You're going to
Kill
put it
it.
out.
So that it don't suffer.
But
Right.
any
But
other
But we
animal,
don't do that with our family.
No,
and
we
any other
make
animal on this planet would
We make
just,
them suffer, and we
Yeah.
watch them while they do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we say, "Oh my god, this is
it's
so
so
sad."
hard, right? It's so hard. Well, there's
Like me
also,
and
I
my
guess,
sister, we're gonna be hoarding sleeping pills, and then whenever we're old and crepit, and then one night, whenever we can't take it anymore, we're just gonna be done. We're gonna fall asleep, and we're not gonna
Yep.
wake up.
Sorry, I want to go.
Mm.
Die in your sleep.
But I'm gonna be like, old. But I'm like, if I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm probably not gonna make it another year. I'm done. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it. It's awful. I
Dad,
also don't want to have my kids take care of me. I don't know why. Everybody that I talk to is always like, really? You don't want your kids to take care of you? No. I don't want my kids to do a single thing for me.
yeah,
Ever. I don't want them to do one thing. I want them to just have their lives with their, and then I can just be a part of it. I'll help them. I'll do, I'll do the grandma thing. I'll do the, all the stuff. But no, I do not want them to take me to the doctor's appointments. I do not want to live with them. None of that. We are not doing any of that. They do not have to take me to the grocery store. I will do that all myself, or I'll live somewhere that does it for me. Like I'll move into somewhere when I'm 55 if I have to. Like I just won't.
you can't afford to live there.
Take care of me.
How much does it take to have grandma live where she was living? That's how much it would
Like,
cost
what,
for you.
I'm just
or
saying, like,
more.
what if something happened, and I, couldn't live on my own or something?
Yeah,
I would definitely
Well,
just go live in a place. I don't care.
I would let my wife take care of me.
Well, I'd let my husband take care of me.
That's what she signed on for. But
Yeah, he signed up for that.
and I wouldn't want my
Take
kids.
care of him.
I wouldn't
You
want
better
my
believe I
kids-
take care of him.
I wouldn't want them to have to take care of me, but I would want them to want to take care of me.
Yeah, but they can come and take care of me and then go back, and there's no guilt. They can still live their life, and they can still do their thing, and they can still all that stuff. And then when they have time, they can come and they can bring me things or take me to the store because it makes them feel better about helping me. That'd be great, and I'll be really appreciative, and I'll be like all that stuff if they want to do that. But I'm not going to require them to do anything for me. Nothing.
Can they decide if you continue to suffer or if you can off yourself?
No,
They
I'll
can
decide
decide?
if I can off myself.
So they can't decide.
No. Just like they can't. No.
What if the roles were reversed though? What if your child was?
Yeah, would you make that decision?
Would you
for your
make that
kid?
decision too if your child was suffering from some type of serious illness or something?
Well, if they made that decision for themselves and they
Well,
had a terminal illness and they're,
They were-
whatever.
They were 10
Well, I
and
had
they
a-
decided.
What
I
if
had a
they
pretty
were
young
in a
cousin that
severe
was very-
accident?
I had a young cousin, 11 years old, that was in the hospital, in and out, and always in and out of the hospital. A lot of problems. And kind of his mom put a DNR order on him because she didn't want him to
Okay.
suffer anymore.
Yeah,
I agree.
yeah.
And
I mean, that's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, it is kind of the same thing, but it is a little different.
it
You
is
can
a
get
little.
away with it, not get charged
It-
for murder.
Well, I just mean it's different because one of
They
them
just
is
didn't save his life. They didn't end it.
right.
Right.
They're not
But
proactively ending it.
Right. They're not ending it, but they're not
Yeah.
saving it.
Right. It is.
That's
It's kind of some
true.
gray area there. That's a good point, actually, Ben.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of the same decision, or taking them off life support. If they're alive on a machine, they allow you to do that.
yeah.
But if you're laying there suffering, dying of ALS or cancer or whatever it is, you can't just get hooked to the fucking Thanatron or whatever the hell it's called and call it a day.
No, they make you go on hospice and then you slowly, and then you stop eating and then your organs start shutting down. They put morphine in you and then you lay in a bed for 2 days until everything's done.
Yeah,
That's what happens.
suffering the whole time.
Unless you go quickly or it's sudden or, something like that. Or, you're laying in a bed where there is a way they can just turn off the switch.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
unplug the machine that's breathing for you. My dad always said he was ready to go. He'd been in and out of the hospital and Parkinson's and just all kinds of shit, man. And he said, I've thought 100 times, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go until he couldn't catch his breath. And that once he couldn't catch it, he didn't want to die no more. No, 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 no. Hey, I was wrong. Let me breathe some more. Let me breathe some more. So that's
Yeah.
got to be, that's got to be mental anguish, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's got to be scary. Like the act of it and the process of it.
Knowing that it could be right here. Here it is. It could be
And
this
maybe
right
that
here.
would be a lot more peaceful for people knowing that it's, euthanasia, and you would just, like it would be maybe like suffocating because you can't breathe would be a lot different than just some drugs pumped into your system.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? So like that would, or drowning,
Yeah, I
or
don't
like
wanna
that's
drown.
all really traumatic stuff. But
I
if you
don't-
just fell asleep, if the first drug was to put you to sleep and you just fell asleep, that was it. You wouldn't feel anything or know anything. You just fall asleep.
Yeah.
It'd be so much more peaceful and not as rough. I don't know how else to explain it. Like it's rough. Like it's not smooth,
Yeah, and it's not pleasant or, nothing like that, comforting or
No,
it's never good.
no.
Even if it's a noble thing, shooting a fucking deer or gutting a fish that you caught, I mean, like even though it's a noble purpose and I don't have any problem doing it other than I don't relish the act of doing it, but I'm going to eat it. It's going to provide sustenance for my family. It's how God intended, it's how nature intended. But
Mhm.
it's never pretty. It's always bad, even under the best circumstances.
Well, like the Alaskans, they just put their old people out on a thing and just put them out in the lake, and they
Yeah.
just float out there and freeze to death.
Well,
I mean, so
is
like
that
it's
good or bad?
no, that's bad. What do you
Well, I don't know. Is
imagine
it?
floated out there?
Well, is the person doing it
I think
willingly?
dying in your sleep is the way to go,
Well,
right?
yes, obviously. Well, I'd prefer that over, sliding down a 30-foot razor blade stair banister. You know, if
Or
I had to pick
like
one,
like something crazy.
get hit by a bus. No, I don't want to get hit by a bus. And I think that, with modern medicine, like when I had that surgery on my hand after I got hurt at work,
Mhm.
I was like, I'm all right. I'm going to see how long I can hold out before I was waking up. Like there wasn't even a point when I thought, okay, here it comes. It was like a light switch.
What are you
They
talking
put it,
about?
they knocked me out in
Oh,
just instantaneous. They gave me a shot out in the room to calm me down. Told me to get up on the gurney. So I got up on the gurney. They rolled me into the operating room. And when I got in there, they told me to get off the gurney onto the table. So I got onto the table. They laid me down. They tied my hand down because they were going to be operating on my hand. And I was already had an IV in. So they hooked the thing to my IV and turned it on. And she said, here it comes. Count backwards from 10.
Ow.
And the next thing I know, like I don't even remember counting. I remember waking up after it was over.
Yeah. It's pretty
So
quick.
my point is, if you're to the point where you're near death and you're suffering and all this kind of shit, they could put stuff in, you won't even know it's coming. You'll just click, it'll be over.
Yeah. They could, but they don't.
They don't. Unless you're
They should.
unless you're a
They
fucking cat.
should.
Yeah, unless
Just
you're a
looking
cat
at-
or a dog, and then they will. Because you don't want to see them die in pain. You don't want to see them suffer. I just don't get it.
And I think the big part with the animal thing that I have a problem with is that you're choosing it for them. They wouldn't choose to, their instincts are telling them to get away from that and to live as long as they can.
Well, I
You know,
don't know. Like
They don't choose
Jack.
to do it.
Well,
They know
Jack,
what's coming, though.
he would like every time we let him out, like after he had that last stroke, he could barely walk and everything. Dan had to carry him down the stairs and stuff. to go to the bathroom, and he every single time he was out there, he'd like walk away. Like he was trying to walk away. And that's
Yeah.
like a thing they do. They just try to walk away because they know they're
Yeah.
gonna die and they don't want to die like around us.
My sister had a beagle that escaped. She'd had him for years, 10, 12 years or
Yeah,
whatever.
they'll do that because
And
he's
he never
giving it
ran
time.
off once. And
Yeah.
he just suddenly disappeared one day.
Yep. That happens a lot, actually.
Yeah, our dog just kept walking down the hill and laying down.
Like trying to get far away.
Yeah.
And then
Mhm.
because it was
Wow.
gonna happen.
Yeah, but would he have jumped off a cliff? Or
No.
something? You know what I'm saying?
But
Like, would
what
he
if
have
he knew that
chosen
he was-
to?
Everything was
leave it?
shutting down. So he was gonna go lay down somewhere and not wake up, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe so.
Poor old Jack.
Well, I mean, there's some states that will allow euthanasia. You can
Yeah.
plan your death date.
Yeah.
It used to only be like Portland,
Yeah,
was
Oregon.
the only one, but I think California. I think there's a bunch of them.
Oh,
now.
really?
There's
I
10 or
didn't know
12 of them. There has to be criteria, of course, and I don't know how they do it, but if once again they put Kevorkian in prison for it, and now it's legally available.
Yeah.
Do the doctors that
Oh.
are doing it now? Is it that you get a button to press and you
I
press the
think
button?
it's you do it. Like I think you do it yourself.
It's their version
Mhm.
of the Thanatron or whatever the hell.
You make up the mix and stuff and inject it.
We have a person that we follow on YouTube whose dad has suffered years from, I think he had Parkinson's too,
Who's
wasn't
this?
it? Grim.
Oh, okay.
And he said his dad planned a whole
Mhm.
day. And here's the day. It's everybody come to my death day. And everybody went and was there with him during it. And,
Yeah.
everybody said goodbye and that kind of shit. And I thought, well, at least that was more dignity than, that same gathering in a hospital where they'd been desperately trying to keep him going some more.
Yeah.
This was at his house, at home with his old lady and his kids. And I think his ex-wife was even there. But once again, I don't know how much it costs. I'm sure your insurance company won't cover it.
Yeah, that's not going to be something that that's going to be for the elite. I don't know. Yeah, because the insurance company is not going to pay for it.
They don't pay for anything.
No. But I don't know. Maybe that since they don't have to pay for you no more, maybe they would pay for it.
Nah, they don't give you any kind of discounts or anything like that for anything. More money. Give us more money.
Yeah, that's all they want. Money, and we're not going to pay you anything.
I remember when all that stuff happened.
I do too. I barely remember it because it was the 90s, so I was young. But I do remember it because I was like watching a couple of documentaries on YouTube. I think it was that I watched them. And I mean, yeah, I do. Like he definitely can't do it. Like I get people's side. But then again, I also get it. Like let people do what they want with themselves.
Yeah, I don't see how it really affects anybody else. I guess you could argue that it affects their wife or children or anything like that. But if everybody's on board,
My father
everybody's on-
committed suicide. It affected all of us, but
they're not, and in a
Yeah.
real bad way.
yeah, there's nothing we could do about that because he
Yeah.
wanted to end his life. So it doesn't matter. They're still going to do it. There's still ways.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, but then you get into, the insurance policy. If you kill yourself, they don't pay off.
Yeah, he didn't
Because
have one.
people are buying insurance policies and offing themselves, I guess, so their family could get the money.
Yeah,
That's why you have the insurance, is so that your family gets the money when you die.
yeah, but you can't off yourself.
Even if you're suffering.
And he was mentally, like he didn't have a physical ailment, but he did mentally. But like, I wish we could have gotten him the help. Like the help was out there, but maybe not. Maybe things would have been different. I don't know.
He absolutely didn't feel like there was any way out of it.
Nope. He took his only way that he knew.
So you're for your mom being able to do it to herself to end her suffering, but not his? Or
No,
do you
I'm saying
defend
that
his?
maybe had he had like maybe if that option was available, he would have come to us and been like, "Hey, so this is the option I'm going to take," and we would have probably been like, "Whoa, hold on, what a second, you want to what?" Well, we all really want this, and we all really, and maybe we could have changed his mind, but we had no idea.
Yeah, but at the same, that's what we did to mom when she said she had cancer. We changed her mind. She didn't want to go through any of that. She was taking her own destiny in her hands, and we talked her out of it. It's kind of like you would have talked your daddy out of doing what he did.
Yeah, I
Why?
mean,
So,
I tried.
yeah. Well, would you have regretted it? I wonder, as much as we regretted it. We wish we hadn't have talked mama into it. She would have suffered way less. We would have had her less time, but she would have died sooner.
No, see, like I wish my mom would have. Like we wanted her to do more, and she eventually was like, "No, I can't." Like I remember there was this hospital that was like up in Minnesota or something. And it was like this new thing that they were going to do. And then like one of the WashU scientists was like, "We could take you up there, blah, blah." And we were like, "Okay, go do it." And she's like, "No, I'm done, girls. I can't do this anymore." Like there's nothing and it was all over by then. It was in her brain. It was in her lungs. It was in her, it was everywhere. It was the liver, everywhere. It was everywhere. She'd been cut up and poked and all. She was done.
And she was tired of being a fucking science experiment.
Yes, she's done. She's done.
Yeah, I don't blame her.
I wish that. I mean, I'm. Granted, she was fighting her cancer from the time I was 11, and then she passed away when I was 20.
The entire time.
I am glad I had my mom in those years. You know what I'm saying? So I am glad she did it. Do I wish she wouldn't have? But I am glad she did it. I am glad she did it because I wouldn't have. I'd have very few memories if she wouldn't have made it close.
Yeah, honestly, you wouldn't have had. Yeah, what if she decided after your daddy? To follow suit?
She got diagnosed, and then he did his, and so then she had to fight. Instantly. So,
and to her credit,
yeah, and she did for years. Thank
yeah,
God she did.
she was sick the whole time. I knew. I mean, I didn't really know her back then, or ever. I knew of her.
She was sick the whole time Dan ever knew her.
Yeah,
there was a few years where she was in remission and she was doing pretty good.
Yeah,
there was working.
Yeah, there was years in between.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was the longest period was like a 2-year period she went where she was went for her scan that next year and she was still clean. And we were like, all right. And then she went the next year and she had it back.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I remember that.
There was lots of those. Lots of them.
Yeah, goddamn.
But I think that at some point she would have gotten to the point where, because she hated, and that was one thing, she hated when she was on hospice and we moved, she had the hospital bed in her bedroom and then she moved the hospital bed into the living room so that we, be easier for all of us to access her. Yeah, she hated that. She hated that. The humiliation, all the stuff that it comes with, she probably would have chosen to just have somebody come in and put an IV in her, and that would have been it, because she knew that in the next month she was going to die anyways.
Yeah.
And she probably would have chosen that if she didn't think she was going to go to hell for it. Because at that point they had taken her off everything. They're like, here's morphine. And she did perk up for, a week because she got out the morphine and all the steroids and everything. But then she went down and that was it. And she hated that. She hated it. Yeah. She talked about how she hated it. We had to wipe her and she'd be like, I hate this. And we're like, it's okay. She hated it.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to have it. I watched my sister do the same thing with my other sister.
Mm-hmm.
Or one of my other sisters, the youngest one. She was sick and shit forever. And my old, middle sister having to take care of her.
Yeah.
For, because her old man was incapable of, I don't know. He had his own, troubles he was dealing with.
Right.
And trying to work and support. He was busy. It wasn't like he was not, but
Right. He was
Uh,
taking care of everything else.
for with all the appointments and all the thing, and she stayed with my older middle sister for a while, off and on, and having to do that for her, clean up, her the medicines that she was given were giving her, the treatments were causing her to shit all over the place, and just
Mhm.
her own what she was doing to her body on top of all that was making her shit all over the place.
Mhm.
You shouldn't really have to do that for anybody out of, I don't know.
Well, I mean, unless you're paying them, like I could pay somebody
Right.
to come and take care of me. That's
A
fine.
wet
That's
nurse. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. That's their job. They signed up for it. They're
Right.
doing this now. That's fine. They can do that. But no, my kids don't need to no, I'll just go and stay, at a place and have them take care of me. I don't care what it's like. I just, and if they don't have time to come and visit me, that's fine too. Like I'll still pick up the phone and call them, see how they're doing. And like I just am not gonna put that kind of pressure on my kids. I've already decided it. Like I just won't.
Like I said, hopefully your old man can do it for you. You don't mind changing her shitty diapers, do you, Dan?
Oh, can't wait.
Well,
Yeah.
hopefully
Looking
we're
forward to
changing
it,
each
aren't
other's.
Yeah. Well, you can do it for each other. Yeah, there you go. Compare.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brene worked for a company where she went and this one woman that she took care of, her family. She had offers to move in. They were going to move her to like the Colorado to live with them in their mansion and stuff.
Nice.
And at the time, and at the time we were struggling pretty bad. So part of me was like, "Oh yeah, man." But then I thought, no, god dang, I don't want my wife moving to Colorado.
No. Yeah, you wouldn't like that.
No, what kind of marriage is that? Oh, we're gonna split up but stay together? Nah. And you're gonna send money home? Sure.
Well, you could have moved to Colorado.
Well, yeah, but I'd have to give up my job. And they're not going to put me in the house. They were going to put her in the house. Anyway, she took
yeah.
care of this woman, Ethel. And she was completely from the neck down, just nothing. She couldn't do anything. And she had multiple diseases and all kind of stuff. But Renee did everything for her. Wiped her butt, washed her privates, all the stuff.
Yeah.
And my point is, doing it for someone that you're getting paid to do it for is a different situation than having to do it for your ailing mother.
Oh, yeah.
Her
Absolutely.
sons lived there with her, and they all loved Renee. Ethel loved Renee. And she would have still been doing it if it hadn't been because she'd have to go over there at bedtime to put her into bed.
Yeah.
So she wouldn't get home to I'm like, this doesn't work I have to go to bed by the time you're leaving to go to work.
Yeah.
Doesn't work. You might as well be working third shift, which sucks. But would that woman have been better off? How much suffering do you think she went through every day, laying there like a vegetable? Johnny got his gun, having a stranger come in and wash her privates and wipe her shitty butt.
Yeah, but did she still want to be alive?
She seemed happy.
Yeah,
Well,
I think
happy.
she was as happy as she could be.
Her husband.
She loved when Renee come over. She was happy to see Renee and have somebody to talk to. And some of the other patients that she had had dementia and stuff, so they didn't even recognize her when she showed up, and she was there every day.
Yeah.
Virginia was the only one of them that I ever met. She brought her into my store one time.
Gave me a fish tank.
And then, that old guy, he liked you a lot too, but
I know he did.
I think that was for some different reasons, honey. He really enjoyed the sponge bath, if you know what I'm saying.
Gross.
That's gross.
She comes home one day and she's got like this gigantic, real elaborate fish tank and aquarium and all kinds of pumps, and it was ridiculous, man. I thought, where'd you get that? Yeah, well, the guy said I had to give so-and-so a shower today.
So this is what he gave me.
Yeah, you'd give her tips. She'd come in like, yeah, he gave me $30 today. I was like, God dang,
We're
man.
not supposed to, but you know how old
She's
people
in there
are.
giving an old fashioned to an old man in the shower.
Yeah. Yeah.
$30 fucking
She's like, oh, did you want me to clean that
You know
again?
what?
I'll clean it again for you.
That's what I said. And you know what? And I told her, I was like, you know what? Fucking do it tomorrow too. Get in there. That old man's got nothing. Let him do it and let him enjoy it. That's all. If that's
rub
all
slower,
he has
Renee.
left,
Rub slower.
Yeah. Yeah.
Clean it twice.
And
Use it twice.
make sure it's clean. With be
Don't
thorough,
have to be. Let's just say that. Okay.
and with a deliberate pressure and pace.
Intentional.
Use the
Intentional
loofah
cleaning.
if you need to.
Oh, that's rough.
That was the only time that I was never jealous. I was like, yeah, no, I don't. Let him. I mean, poor old guy.
What if it was a woman?
I wouldn't care. The same difference. I mean, this was always. I've been razzing her for years about this shit. It wasn't really. I love to exaggerate and stuff, but he did give her tips and stuff. But she took real good care of him. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Not for real.
Quite enjoyed her.
He did. What happens? Let's say you get, you're sick, you got ALS, you've been laying there for a year, can't move, can't do nothing. They find you Jack Kevorkian. He comes in and hooks you up to the machine, gives you the button. In case your wife, press the button. Now what? What happens now?
You die.
Is it just but what does that mean? And before you can even get to kind of this part of the thing, you have to decipher if
I think that's going to be different for everybody.
Do you even is there do only Christians, people that believe in Jesus and heaven and hell and that kind of stuff, are they the only ones that think you have a soul or a spirit?
No.
Do non-believers?
Yeah.
Or Muslims or Buddhists, do those people think you have a soul?
Everyone has a soul.
Well, I know, but that's what you believe
human
because of who you are and how you were raised.
Soul.
I'm saying, does everyone believe that? Are
Some
there people that
believe that your soul's reincarnated. Some people believe.
Right.
I mean, there's lots of different beliefs.
But there's one to begin with. There's a soul to begin with.
You are a soul.
I guess
are there cultures that let's how about fucking Ndugu that wakes up in Uganda or wherever, every morning is eating mud for breakfast. Does that guy's family believe that you have a soul and that when you die it goes somewhere?
Yes.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's some people out there who don't believe you have a soul. But for me, I do, this isn't, I don't know. But I don't think that has anything to do with.
Well, what I'm getting at is, what is there anything else beyond this after death?
What does that matter?
Well, because I want to know. What do you mean? Why does that matter?
Nobody knows.
Well, that's what I'm trying to find out.
Well, no, but how are you going to find that out? No, if somebody could find that out, we would have already found that out.
Well, I don't know, Anna, but that's kind of the whole purpose of these conversations, is to come up with these hypotheticals and then discuss it. I don't know.
I don't think that having a belief system in what's the afterlife should play any part in this. Say my sister, she believes that when she dies, she's just going to go into the ground and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And so she still thinks that she's in her life whenever
her consciousness just ends.
Yeah. And she's over. That's it. And then in 100 years, nobody will even know about her. She's not going to die because it doesn't affect her. She's dead.
So he doesn't believe that she has a spirit and that it'll go to heaven or hell?
No, she doesn't.
It's just going to cease to exist.
Uh-huh. Her body will cease to exist, and that's it. That's as far as it goes.
She won't know any difference, but she's going to be gone.
Yep.
Well, I don't believe that.
Yeah, but I don't think that just because
there's something else after this.
What?
I think there's something else after this. I don't think this is it.
I also think that there was something before this, because I don't feel like I feel like I've done this before. And I don't, and I don't think this is it. And there's something, I feel like there's something I'm supposed to learn. I just feel like there's something you're supposed to learn. I don't know. But she feels different. She believes different. She just thinks that, when you die, you go into the ground. That's it.
Well, I believe your body does do that. It does die and you go to the ground.
Yeah, and she thinks that's as far as it is. And like she honestly, she's a weird bird. She went through a lot of trauma when she was younger, you know. So her whole feeling, like she doesn't have feelings. I don't know how to explain that. And she also doesn't have memories. Like it's just everything has been shut down. So like she has like excitement feelings and everything, but if something doesn't feel right, she just doesn't do it. And then she doesn't, I don't know. Like she doesn't think that there's gonna be, I mean, maybe I shouldn't be out here telling her point of view, but she does say that all the time. Like she just really just thinks she's gonna go into the earth and that's it. She doesn't believe there's an afterlife. She would love for there to be one. She thinks that's great. And if that's wonderful, but that's not gonna change the way she lives here on earth because of what might happen after death. She's still gonna live every day to the fullest.
Right.
Just how she wants to. And that's how she does it. And she's happy. She's the only person that I know that wakes up every single day with a smile on her face. Every single day that girl wakes up happy.
Oh, I've seen her wake up
happy.
She does not wake up happy.
Well, she might not like the act of actually getting up, but when she actually wakes up and she's alert, she's happy. She truly is.
She's about the only person in this world that likes to wake up less than me.
My daughter will give you a run for your money.
Well, and I know, and you will too. I know you're that way also, but you come around pretty quick. I do not.
I'll come around.
Sister does not
the
as
first
well.
10 minutes, don't talk to me. Don't talk to me.
Yeah. Don't talk to me for like 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, you're like, whew.
Yes, I am.
You need a pot of coffee in you first.
There ain't enough coffee in the world.
I just wait until he starts talking. Then I'm like, oh, okay, he's awake now.
I wish my house would do that. Wait till I start talking.
Mm-hmm.
No, I get up and start getting talked at and asked questions.
No, I wait till he starts talking.
You know, I don't even know what it is after this. I don't know about, reincarnation and all that. Everybody always says that they're, well, I was Cleopatra in a former life. Yeah, I was Abraham Lincoln. No, why is everybody always somebody famous? No, you weren't. If that's...
I've seen stories about that, but
okay, you were Napoleon. Yeah, you were Napoleon in a farm. Really?
No,
okay.
I mean, like, but what does that have to do with the choice to die?
It doesn't. This is after that.
Oh,
that's what I said. So we've done all of that. We're up to the point where we're going to kill ourselves because we're suffering and we're, putting ourselves out of our misery.
Mm-hmm.
Now what? Now what happens?
Is it just everybody has their own thing? I think that you go to heaven. For me, I think you go to heaven. And then sometimes I think some people are reincarnated because there's more things they need to learn or there's more things they wanted to do. I think that there's you get to talk it out. You get to see things. You get to do things. I really hope that there is a you were right list that goes, okay, you were right when this happened. You were right. I'll be like, yes, I knew it. I knew it. And I also hope that there was a you were wrong list that goes, okay, you need to learn these lessons. And then you get the option. Do you want to go into Heaven's Gate? Do you want to be done? Or do you want to go back and do it again? And this is, whatever. And then some people need to learn lessons, so they go back. This is how I envision it for myself. And then sometimes you go up and then it's there. Sometimes you go through and you're in heaven. And then you get to live and everything's peaceful in heaven. Everything's good in heaven. Yeah. And everything's there. That's what I think happens.
Mom would said that you would want for nothing.
What?
Mom would say that you would want for nothing in heaven. When you get to heaven, there's no sadness, no pain. There's nothing that you can't have. You can, whatever you want, you get.
Yeah.
You won't want for anything. That's,
right.
But that also could be interpreted as there is nothing. Like your sister's things. If you're in heaven and it's still, and you don't want for anything, everything is, that could be that it's just over and you don't.
Yeah, and you're just laying in the ground and there is no want for anything.
You're not wanting for anything, but you're also just ended. There is nothing.
Yeah.
So there's still no answer there.
Right. Because we don't know. Nobody's been able to end and go and then come back. So that's just always, that's the definition of faith. You know what I'm saying? Like,
there are people that have claimed that they died. They're called NDEs,
but that's a whole other subject, man. We would have a whole nother podcast talking about people that have died.
I think that we could dip our toes in it for the purpose of this conversation. to find out
what
what comes after.
I have watched all that stuff. I have experienced things. I've witnessed death in so many different ways. I have been around for after death stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just have, there's got to be something else. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Got to be something else.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
I don't either.
We could go down the track of you touched on a while ago about deja vu, like, or you've done this before. Multi-universe.
Yeah.
There's one of us somewhere else in another reality.
Yeah.
Doing the similar shit that we're doing here now, right now, but subtle things have changed.
Yeah.
Butterfly effect type stuff.
Yeah.
It changes just enough that the next outcome is a little bit different, which changes the stuff after that. It's a little bit different. You know what I mean? So who's to say that this one doesn't
all
end
the
and the
Mandela
next one
effect,
starts?
like all
The
those
next
Mandela
reality.
effects.
Huh?
All the Mandela effects.
Yeah.
And all, like, there's got to be different realities. Time travel, like, I'm not saying that time travel is that, like, you walk into a thing and you're in another thing, but all I'm saying is, even with all the religions and everything, where there's smoke, there's fire. I'm not saying everybody's completely right, but maybe everybody has a hint of something, and that combines everything that it actually is, and nobody really knows. Maybe that's the point. Nobody has enough information on their own to know. Yeah, I don't know. We don't know. But I like to believe my way. I like to think that there's pearly gates, and you have a,
Sure.
whenever I get there,
But
my
that
mom
provides-
and my grandma are going to be on the other
Right.
side of it.
But that provides you comfort while you're here, though.
Right.
That's why you think that stuff. That's why most people think that stuff.
I don't know. My grandma, she was praying to die because she wanted to go there.
Yeah, she was ready. My mom was ready. That's what she said. I kept asking her, Mom, aren't you scared? And she was like, No, I ain't scared. I'm not going to go with
My
God.
My
I'm
mom
gonna
or
see
my
my
grandma
mama
weren't
again.
scared. Neither
gonna
one of
see
them.
her
They were
parents.
ready. And they were full of faith, and they were full of God, and they were full of all that stuff too. And they were ready, and they were at peace, and they were understanding where they were going.
They believed they were going there.
Yes.
Did they?
I don't know. I don't know.
Are they there now, or did they just end?
I don't know. Like, I often think, like, when I go back to the cemetery to where my parents are buried, like, and like, if it is, like, if they are in heaven and they can see us, when can they see us? Can they see us all the time?
I
Or
don't
can
believe
they
they can
see
see us. I don't
Or-
believe here. I believe when she said that there's no sadness in heaven, you won't want for anything. If she saw me now currently, there's things about me that she would want to change and would be negative. If she's in heaven where there's nothing, that's no sadness, she wouldn't be able to see me. You understand what I'm saying?
But I don't think that they
I'm
see
doing stuff in
us
my
as
life that she's
people.
not
I
going to
think they see our
approve of.
spirits. Their spirits see our spirits. They're not
Yeah.
seeing us as people. They're seeing us as spirits because they're spirits. That's all they can see. That's how I envision it. Like, she's not seeing my body walk around. She's seeing my spirit just moving about the earth.
Okay.
I don't know, man. Everybody's got their own way of thinking about it. I like to think that because I do feel like I do feel my mom sometimes. Like, I can feel her. I don't know how else to explain it. So, I mean, and then there's been weird things that have happened where, like, Dan's had dreams that I'm like, okay, that's really bizarre because this happened last night. And he's like, what? And, like, he's like, gets the chills. Like, there's just weird things that have happened. There's got to be, it doesn't all end.
Yeah, I don't believe that, this is
my
all there is. This, what we're doing now,
No.
is all there is. Like, this is the ultimate, is this, and then it's over. I don't believe that. I don't think that there's enough
And
I
like
mean-
where I struggle a lot is that I do have a lot of faith in God and I do believe in God and all that stuff like that. But I also believe in the reincarnation thing. And I do think that there's something tied with spirits and like, you know, your zodiac signs and your birthdays. And like I do feel very like on the spiritual end of things, but I also feel on the very religious side of things too. So I like get conflicted all the time. Like because I don't know. Like I don't know, like they say like reincarnation. Like I feel like I've been on this earth before in a different I just feel like I have. Like I feel like I've experienced things that I've never I know I have not experienced. Why is that?
Yeah. I don't know. Well,
And then like they say
don't know.
stuff about reincarnation, it has a lot to do with like when you're born and like other people in your family when they're born and like people are linked a lot of times like by their birthdays and stuff. And I know like
that's
it's
all
just
that's like numerology and stuff, though. I don't buy into none of that.
I know you
Right?
don't buy into any of it. But
Well, I
do-
buy into the spiritual. You know, I believe in that kind of stuff, and I've experienced stuff that I, you know, deja vu feelings.
I
And,
often like if I get my zodiac read or if I get my horoscope read or if I do anything like that, like they're like it does help me because I'm like, okay, yeah, I am going through that. And if I do just calm down, which is probably more generic, but I don't know, dude. I don't know. I think it
you know, I
all
don't buy into
a
none
little
of that
bit.
stuff.
I think it all a little bit once we find out, because I think when you do die, you do find out. I mean, either nothing happens or something happens, and we all
Yeah.
find out.
Yeah.
And I think either we're all going to be a little bit right or we're all going to end up in the ground.
Well, if it's if it's just the over thing and we're in the ground, then we're not going to know one way or the other. It's going to be over. There will be no more consciousness.
I
It's
know.
over.
That's it. And that's what my
I don't-
sister thinks happens. Like, and
I
she
don't
really
believe
does
you.
think that that's
No.
it.
No, there's something else. There's some, you know, there's something in all of us that
Like, I've even asked her, I'm like, well, she's like, I'm like, well, what are you going to do? Like, are you going to bury? She's like, I don't care. You can do whatever you want with me. I'm done.
Yeah, you're dead.
Yeah, well, I agree with that. My body, I don't care
Well, I
about my
agree
body
with that
much.
too. Like, you can do what you want, but like, it's still, I don't know.
I think you should just put me in the ground and, you know, not in a big steel box, just put me in the ground and I'll turn to worm food, plant a tree on top of me if you want. That's cool.
That's what I want to do is that tree pod thing.
Sure. Oh,
Yeah.
That's fine. I don't want to be burned. I don't want you to take my organs out and give them to somebody else. Put my organs in the ground with me.
Oh, no, you can donate mine. If
I
they
don't
can
want
save a
them.
life, you
No.
can take
That's
them.
how I feel. He won't do what he says.
No.
You
I think,
better.
well, that goes. I don't want any of that kind of shit. I don't think people ought to get cut open and do anything on the inside of their bodies.
I think if
think
it
you
can
Hate all
save
that
more.
shit.
else take them. I don't need them anymore.
Yeah.
I don't either,
Use
but
them,
they
give
need to
it
be
them.
buried with me.
You don't want them buried with somebody else.
Nope.
Okay, that's fine. That's your decision.
Yeah.
Just make sure you don't have it on your driver's license.
We can't be buried like that though. In the state of Missouri, the only way we could do that is if I had family land that was going to be guaranteed to be family land after me being buried there. But otherwise, I have to go to a fucking cemetery or some bullshit and pay somebody else. I don't agree with that.
Yeah, back in the olden days, you could just bury, but
Bury me fucking
Yeah.
anywhere. What difference does it make? I'm going to rot. I'm not going to be there in another 2 years.
yeah, they don't do that anymore. Like, I can't just be buried out back if I died.
You can if you can prove that you won't ever sell the land.
How can you
Well, if
prove
I
it?
paid it off, I mean, it's my land. I
Well,
can.
this mean if you have it so that it's going to be left to
There's
your
a lien
kids.
on it. Cannot.
I don't know.
I think you should be able to.
If you have a lien
Probably
on
not. Probably not. If you don't own it, you're probably right.
if you don't
There
own
are
your house,
stipulations to it.
you cannot
It's
be
in the
buried
ground.
there, probably. But if you own it outright, well, then fuck, be buried there. I'm sure it probably doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You can bury your animals on your own property.
You know, you actually shouldn't.
I don't know either that
Well,
it's
like
legal to
dogs
do it.
or
I don't
I
cats.
know
don't
how
know.
legal
I
that is
don't know.
either.
I
I know you
either.
can't in like the city ordinance and
You
stuff.
only technically own so many inches under the surface.
Yeah.
Oh.
It says that on the deed, and so many feet in the air,
hmm
so many feet from the road. Yeah,
Yeah.
those easements.
And then
They're
like
all
we have easements for
yeah.
the neighbors. They have to
Mhm.
be able to access their home. So we
Yeah,
cannot block the road. We cannot put a gate up. We cannot like all that stuff
yeah,
unless we can give them access to it.
right.
Which I mean, we don't need a gate, but if we had animals or livestock and we needed a gate, we would have to give
Mhm.
them access to get in and out of the gate because they have to go through it,
Right.
get to their property, their home.
I just think what would have happened if a couple hundred years ago, 200, 300 years ago, if someone died, what do you do with them?
You
Burn them,
bury
or
them.
you bury
Come
them. You
back
bury
and
them
burn
out
them.
back.
Yeah.
Whatever.
There's dead people all underneath us
That's what
all
I'm
over.
saying, and that happened everywhere.
Yeah.
It was only when they started making cities and stuff where there were graveyards and cemeteries and that
They
kind
used
of
to
shit.
just be family, like you had a family plot. And like that's where your family, and they was like in the back of everybody's houses,
Right.
at the back of the
Everybody
property.
had
And that's
had a
where your
cemetery.
family was built. And they're still out here. Like out here, we still have little cemeteries all over, and they're family
Yep.
plots, they're family cemeteries. And
There's
that's
a
where families
cemetery
would.
right down the road. Right down the road from your house, there's a cemetery.
Yeah, we have like one that way, we have one this way, we have them all
Well,
over.
that's the only one I drive by getting to your house, but there is one at the bottom of that one hill before you turn that big right hand corner. If you turn left, you go up the hill to the cemetery that's up there.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's also one by that little church that they turned into a house. So it's a house, and right in the side yard is a cemetery.
Yeah.
Is that the one
Because
that's over
it's a little
common?
family, and there's like a dozen plots in it.
Yep.
Or more, maybe
Yep.
a few more than that. And they're all over the place. They're all over out here. And they're just certain families, and they're all the last name, and that's where they were buried.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And my grandma, she's going down to Piggott. That's where she's getting buried,
Mhm.
and so we're burying her funerals next Friday, and then we're taking her out of state, and we're going to bury her back in her home family plot in Arkansas.
Mhm.
Because that's where her mama is, and her daddy is, and all her, that's where she wants to be.
That's where their bodies are.
Yep.
Where their bodies are. Yes.
Sherry lives across from a graveyard.
There's graveyards everywhere. That's what we were saying.
They're all the time cleaning it and like stuff like that. I would love it. Dan's aunt and uncle live across the street from a graveyard, and
Yeah,
they live in a city.
Mhm.
I always feel kind of spooked out. Them old school
love 'em.
ones, are so
I need
old
to
looking
visit.
and kind of creepy. There was I grew up next door to Fort Zumwalt Park,
Mm-hmm.
and it used to be it was a Civil War era fort, and there were the Zumwalts lived there. It was there, and they're buried up there.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a little had 5 or 6 people in it or whatever. This little area was cordoned off with like a railing or whatever, and I always got kind of creeped out about that because I was like, oh man, there were some dead people just right up there. This goes back to what I was saying before about how I wish that death wasn't such a taboo, scary. Like it needs to be taught that it's just as a natural part of life as everything else, and it isn't. It's taught that it's this end game that you want to try to avoid at all costs, and like it's just the natural order of things. It's just like being born.
Right. But I don't think a lot of people think every birth is exciting. I don't. Sometimes people tell me they're pregnant. I'm like, oh,
yeah, great. Another
like
one.
I feel like every person that's ever told me that they were pregnant, I do feel a little bit sorry for them because it's hard. It's not easy.
No.
It's long. It's not a quick thing.
It's also rewarding and joyful and all that stuff too.
It is, but death isn't always sad, is what I'm saying. Like birth isn't always like every emotion is not always excitement at all times, but death is not always sad either. Like with my grandma, she was ready. So we all are really at peace with it because we know how peaceful she is. So I mean, it's not
Sure.
always terrible.
Sure.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's not talked about as much as birth is because people, it's sad. You miss people.
Yeah, I get the loss is the big deal with it. I understand that, but everybody's always it's always such a tragic thing. It's always, oh, she
Well, it
died.
can be.
Oh,
I
but
think it
like,
can
oh
be.
well, isn't that kind of the ultimate fucking goal is to be born and then live and
Yeah, but
do all your shit
there's
and then
some
grow old
like
and then die? Isn't that the end result that you're
I
looking
think
for?
that right, I agree, but I think that there's some people that you should never have to watch die. Like I'd never
Sure.
think that you should have to watch your children die.
No, of course not.
And
You're
I think
supposed to
when
bury your
people
kids.
do that, that is like the ultimate pain.
Sure.
I think that's the ultimate pain.
Yeah, that's an exception. It's an exception to the rule, though. Most people don't watch their kids die.
Most people don't. Thank God for that.
Yeah. It's not rare, but it's less common than the alternative.
Yeah.
Most people's kids, grow up and be famous and then they die before their kids do. Not
Yeah,
famous.
and that's how it should be. And when it happens that way, that's how it should be. That's how it should be. It sucks, but that's how it should be. So at least you got to make it, like, I don't know. I also have a very different view. Like, I think death comes to everyone. It's inevitable. Everybody,
Yeah, there's no stopping it.
yeah.
You are going to fucking
They
die.
will die.
Guaranteed.
Yep.
Without fail. No one has ever
No one
not
can die
died.
alive.
Jesus was God on earth and fucking died. So, you know what I mean? Like,
What makes you think you can escape it?
yeah. And these motherfuckers that are working out every day and doing all, and I'm not saying you should be like me and do the opposite of that, but
But I think you should also live your life. Everybody needs to live their life because you only get, maybe this is the only one you get. Or at least, don't suffer. Like try not to suffer. At least do stuff to make yourself happy, whatever it is. Who cares if somebody else is judging it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hmm.
I think that's the ultimate thing is death comes to everybody at some time. You never know what's going to happen tomorrow. You really don't. So just
no,
try
you don't know. It is
enjoy it for the day it is.
another thing
like
about
today
it
we
that
were snowed in and I had a great day. We just watched it snow. We kept wood in the fire and I put some extra blankets on the couch and then I took a little nappy nap, like ate some good food. Enjoy it. That's it. Because death comes. But I think you should be able to choose when you die if you want to. Some people don't want to and they just want to die whenever, and that's fine too. Nobody gets to decide that. I don't think people should get to decide that either.
for someone else.
For someone else. If they don't want to, if they just want to go naturally and let their body just shut down naturally, then let them. You don't get to decide that they get to be euthanized. But if they want to be, then they get to be. I think that people need to start just letting people do what they want to do.
Yeah, that'll never happen.
I know why.
I don't know why. I don't know why people can't just let other people be the way they are, and who gives a shit. I think when it, I think the freedom to do whatever you want to do, that you also have to allow me the freedom to not agree with it.
Yeah, and then
It
that's
doesn't give
fine.
me.
Let me
it
not
doesn't-
agree with it, and that be fine. You still do it, and I still not agree with it, and we both just go on with our lives with you doing it and me not agreeing with it, and vice versa. Maybe I want to do it, and you don't agree with it, and that's fine. You just go on with your life not agreeing with what I'm doing, and let me do it.
That doesn't give me the right to I don't get to treat you any differently because of me. I don't need to. I can even judge you and think that you're going to go to hell for what you're doing, but that's fine. I still just need to let you do it.
If
And I
you
will. I don't care, but
right, and if you're my friend and you
I don't
still
have
make
to
me laugh-
accept it or support it.
right, but you still make me laugh, and we have such a good time together, and we, whatever. I still want to hang out with you because that is what I'm hanging out with you for, is the companionship, the
Yeah.
entertainment, the whatever. It's not because of what you do, where you are. And I don't know, maybe it's their job that they do that's weird, or maybe it's their, spouse that's weird. I don't know, whatever the fuck it is. If it doesn't affect our relationship, then I don't fucking care. That's really just, I don't fucking care.
Yeah,
I
well,
don't
mean,
want
if
it to affect our
doesn't affect
relationship.
me at all. I don't.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter to me.
But it does to a
I
lot of
I
people.
don't engage in those things at all, much less with you. You're not doing that. You're not, a gay person isn't being gay around me. They're not,
Right.
having a sex act in the middle of the living room while we're having dinner. They're going
Right.
to do it when they have sex. They're going to go home later after dinner and have sex.
Right. But they're hilarious and they're really fun. And I enjoy their company. So we get
Hopefully.
together and have gay night.
Yeah,
Doesn't mean
right.
they're gay in front of me.
Correct. I
Not
mean,
like having gay sex. No.
right.
So just
They-
let them do whatever they want to do. I enjoy their company. So we're going to have game night. I don't know. Like, it just doesn't matter that much. Because you know what? We're all going to die.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah,
And then
we
we're
will.
all going to be, I don't know.
I think that's how we're all going to end up, man. For damn sure.
But no, I don't think it all just ends when you get buried into the dirt. I don't. I like to go through my life thinking that it doesn't. Like me and my sister have had that conversation. Like I choose to believe and choose to have faith because I like it. I like the way it makes me feel. I like how it makes me feel. So I keep choosing that. And she doesn't like that. So she doesn't want to keep, she stopped. She was raised religious, but she doesn't get what, like I like it. It put peace in my heart. Gives me positive things to look forward to and positive choice. Like, I don't know. It affects the way I live. It doesn't for her. It's just different. I don't know. People are different, but we're best friends because I let her do her and she lets me do me. We don't try to change each other. We're just we are. That's it. Now, sometimes I ask, I'm like, so how do you feel about that? She's like, I don't care. I'm like, oh, should I not care? She's like, oh, well, if you need to care, you care, but I just wouldn't care. And then there's other times where she's like, I don't care about that. I'm like, you need to care. But she doesn't.
The biggest problem these days, I mean, in any kind of situation, it seems like, is just that. Like it's not okay for me not to think the way you think. Like I have to agree with,
We don't.
I have to agree
like,
with
no,
what
I don't care about that. I'm like, all right,
said.
and we move right along.
It's not even that you don't care. It's just that I don't think the same way you do about it. I'm not observing the same things you're observing.
Right.
I don't think that the outcome is the same that you thought the outcome was. We disagree on it all. It's okay to disagree.
Right.
That doesn't mean that you have to start hating me.
Right. And that's what I wish.
And vice versa. I don't have to hate you because of your differences from me.
Right.
I don't understand why that is how it all of a sudden is. If you think this way,
what shirt you're wearing.
it's true.
You're like, I don't hate you for whatever. I don't hate you. And then it's
Well,
like,
this
hate
shirt, well, this goes to what I'm saying though, is I hate everyone equally.
Right.
And it's not because you're different than me. I hate myself. We're
I don't
all
like
pieces
anyone.
of shit. We're all worthless fucks that are only out for ourselves. When it gets right down to it, every one of us will fucking chew our own goddamn arm off. You know what I mean? Like, and it's meant to be ironic, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
Humorous, even.
Okay, so what do you think happens when you die?
Well, I don't know. That we get back to the whole spirit thing. I know that I don't necessarily believe in the Christian Bible version of things, at least not in the literal translation of what it says. I believe those people saw things that they couldn't describe because it was from a time or a dimension that they couldn't understand, and they wrote it down the best they could. And then it was translated into 5 or 6 different languages, which you lose stuff there. context gets, all the things get fucked up. But there's definitely something, even if you want to look at it kind of like the
So you
Star
think
Wars
there's
thing,
definitely something.
that there's a good, there's a force, and there's a good side to it and a dark side to it, and that's kind of how I feel about morality and consciousness here on Earth in my present reality. That there is this balance of good and evil, and some people are evil and some people are good, and the force is something that everyone can feel, and that's kind of their spirit, and we're all connected to it, and collectively, like a collective consciousness, and that is what was interpreted as the heaven and that kind of stuff. All the things that the Bible talks about is all these modern fucking quantum subjects, that these people weren't prepared to describe and experience. Talking about a chariot in the sky and a stairway to heaven and these kind of things. These are all descriptors that they used to describe this thing that they couldn't fucking fathom. You know what I
They
mean?
couldn't
Like,
describe it.
they how do you describe something that you can't, it doesn't even exist in your reality? So,
Right.
but the energy is there, the force is there, the humans all have it. I know that the look on my mom's face when she died, before she died, she was gaunt, hairless, all the things. But the minute she died, she looked different than she had 30 seconds before.
Yep. You're absolutely right.
Because she was alive 30 seconds before. That spirit and energy was there, and now it was gone. 30 seconds later, light switch, click.
Yeah.
So
it was like light switch. It
there's
was there.
definitely something there.
That's what I'm saying, man. There's got to be something else.
Something.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be the guy, the angel with the golden leer, and wings and shit. It doesn't have to be that, but it's something bigger than this.
Yeah, there's something bigger than this. I agree. I would agree with that. I don't know what it is. And I think that there's a reason why we're not supposed to know. There's something why, because otherwise we would know. So there's a reason why we're not supposed to know. We're just supposed to live our life. Mm-hmm. And that's what we need to focus on while we're here. Living our life and learning some stuff. Yep.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's kind of what I'm doing.
Well, I'm not saying you're not, Corey. I'm just saying, there's a reason why we're not supposed to know.
What comes after, you mean?
Yeah. Because otherwise we would know.
Do you really want to know?
Right. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't want to know. I just want to. I would not want to know how I would end up dying. My anxiety would be
never
worse.
Want to know when or anything like
when
that.
Or how.
But
I don't want to know.
But if I was sick and I was not, I was getting to that point where I was going to not be able to take care of myself and I was going to be
right.
I would probably do that, but I would let everybody know. We would have a month, hopefully, and we could do some things or write some stuff down or make some memories or whatever. And then I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna suffer. I don't want to suffer like that.
Right, but what if you found out how you were gonna die in some tragic, horrible way?
Yeah, no, I don't want to know that.
Well, I'm just saying, if you want to find out how you die, and that's one of the ways you find out that's how you're going to die.
No.
What do you do then? Do you want to wait?
No, I never want to know that.
I don't want to know.
I don't want to know when I'm going to die. That's how it feels to me.
What method it is. I don't care how I'm going to do it. I don't want to know.
I don't want to know. If it happens, it happens. And if it does, I hope to God I go peacefully and in my sleep.
Sneak up on me and kill me in my sleep.
But don't let it be painful. I don't want to be in pain.
Right. Me neither.
Wow. Well,
okay, so
I'm not sure we've come up with any answers here, but we have at least.
Well, I definitely do think people should be able to choose euthanasia if they so choose.
I agree. Yes.
But I think that however hard it may be, there does need to be a line, because at sometimes things do get better, or technology does change, or like things are different. Things could, that once couldn't be saved. People couldn't, people used to die from strep throat all the time.
Yeah. That's
They
true.
don't do that anymore. So I mean, things do change. But I think that if you know that death is very close and inevitable for you, I think you should get the option to not suffer. I think if it comes to the point of suffering, you should get the choice to not suffer.
Yeah, and you definitely shouldn't be forced to do it by the government or any entity.
Yeah, I agree. So I guess that's where we end. And then we ask other people, what do you guys think? Like, do you guys think that euthanasia, for human euthanasia, should be allowed? Should people be able to choose that? Or do you think that everybody should be able to die naturally? And if that's the case, then is that the way you treat your animals? Do you also not euthanize your animals because you believe that way? I have lots of questions for people. So if anybody would like to, chime in, let us know.
Yeah, please. And we didn't even compare it to like abortion. Some people would be okay with having an abortion, but wouldn't euthanize their mom for laying there being sick for 6 months. You know what I mean? Like it's like what's the line of when is the life viable enough to care? You know
Well,
what
I
I mean?
think the
You know what I
people
mean?
that believe in euthanasia also believe in abortion, right?
I
I
don't.
don't know. I don't.
I don't believe in abortion if you're just going to use it as birth control.
Yeah.
If you're
I don't
going to use abortion for a medical to save your life or something like that, yes, but not to use it for birth control
either.
because it's an inconvenience.
If it's
don't-
okay for someone to have an unwanted pregnancy terminated because it's inconvenient for them or whatever, it's okay for you to put somebody down if they are sick and suffering.
Yeah, I agree.
The death is as valuable in either way. I mean, the life is as valuable either way. See what I'm doing here? See that? See what I'm doing?
6, 7.
But that, and we're not talking, I'm not trying to get into the whole thing about abortion rights and that kind of thing. Good Lord. But it is a termination of a life against, the life itself didn't get to choose that. We put Kevorkian in jail for doing it for
and that's the thing with
grown
euthanasia,
person.
you're choosing it. Abortion, the person that's dying is not choosing it.
Right.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like putting an animal down, which we agree everybody
And they're
wants
not
to do.
choosing it.
Correct. You're doing it to them.
Right.
But you can't do it to your mom.
Right.
You can't do it to another loved one. At least in some states
And
currently.
I mean, sometimes you do. Sometimes you do pull the plug. Is that the same thing? Because you are pulling the plug. You are stopping their heart. You're stopping their whatever.
It
you're
Is that not a form of that?
ceasing their life functions.
Yeah. So,
Of course,
And they
if
didn't have
I guess
say
there's
so
lots
in
of
it.
different things. But I don't know. I think that you should be able to choose. For me personally, I hope that if I ever got down to that, I could choose if I was that terminally ill.
Yeah. I always say that I would, but I don't know that I would when it came down to it. Like my daddy said, I was ready to go until I couldn't breathe and I wanted one more breath.
We just don't know. Yeah.
Well, I don't know either.
Well, I'd like to get some input on anybody. If anybody wants to comment, let us know what do you think happens at the end of life? And is euthanasia something that you would foresee yourself or anyone in your family ever choosing?
Yeah. I read all the comments. I try to respond. Sometimes I don't for a long time because I'm lazy, but I do eventually. And I also would like to know if anybody has any specific anything they'd like to see us tackle, and just watch us argue about and talk about any other topics that might be interesting to you. We've got a whole list of stuff, but we'd always take more suggestions. I thank all of you for being here tonight, my illustrious roundtable of guests, past and present, and all of y'all for tuning in.
We appreciate you guys.
It's
Very
good to be
much,
back.
yes.
It's been a long time. It's been weeks and
New
weeks. and
year.
weeks. It's good to be back. I'll get this edited and slapped up there, and we'll do another one next week probably.
Definitely.
And remember, if all the choices are undesirable, man, choose none of the above. And thanks again, everybody. See you next time.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.